Yeah.
All right, who are we starting with?
Harley BANTA via Zoom.
Court will call 25 CM 2790, State of Wisconsin versus Harley BANTA. Appearances.
The state appears by Assistant District Attorney Thomas Valerio. I appear in person. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Commissioner. Mr. Banta appearing remotely and by Attorney Ronald Benavides, present in the courtroom, who's received a copy of the criminal complaint, waives reading, stands mute on any misdemeanor charge. I can advise you that I don't have an address other than the one on the criminal complaint, and he is eligible for public defender representation.
Mr. Banta, the address on the criminal complaint lists for your mailing address of 145 West 7th Street in Ridgeland Center, Wisconsin. Is that your best mailing address, sir?
Yes, it is.
All right. I have reviewed the criminal complaint. As such, I make a probable cause finding and enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Banta's behalf. State's position on bail.
I have no objection to a signature bond. I would ask that the defendant have no contact with JEO and that the defendant not use or possess any dangerous weapons.
Any objection?
No objection under the circumstances.
I will then order a signature bond. I will order as conditions. You have no contact with JEO. You can't call, write, text message, no contact whatsoever. And that you are not to go armed with any dangerous weapons as defined by statute. We are adjourned in Mr. Banta's case. Good luck to you, sir.
So it would be Jose Garcia Mantua. Okay.
What a luxury of a Spanish speaking attorney.
Court will call 24 CF 1859, State of Wisconsin versus Jose Luis Garcia Munguia. Appearances.
The state appears. The state appears by Assistant District Attorney Thomas Valerio.
Commissioner, Mr. Garcia, in person, in custody by Attorney Ronald Benavides, and present as interpreter Mr. Jim Larson. Do we swear the interpreter? I forgot.
We haven't been doing it for initial appearances.
Okay,
Yeah, generally.
he has received a copy of the criminal complaint, waives reading, stands mute on any misdemeanor charge. I have no other address. Well, the address that the public defender has is 221 South High Point Road, number 113, Madison, 53717. He is eligible for public defender representation.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. As to the 3 misdemeanor charges, I do enter a probable cause finding with a not guilty plea. State's position on bail.
One second. Commissioner, I apologize. Did Mr. Garcia Munguia give an updated address?
Yes.
What was that address again? I'm sorry.
Ron, can you state the address again?
221 South High Point Road, number 113, Madison, 53717.
Okay. All right. I have no objection to a signature bond in this case. I guess the reason why I was hesitant is because Mr. Garcia Munguia has been in warrant status for 2 years. I did receive, or I see in the documents that an affidavit of summons was unserved on Mr. Garcia Munguia. That's why I'm making that recommendation. For conditions, I would ask that the defendant not operate a motor vehicle, that he not use or possess any alcohol. I would also ask the court consider put him on the wait list for pretrial services for alcohol monitoring This is a serious case that caused injury. His BAC was a 0.210 at the time of the offense. So I think that alcohol monitoring, when that resource becomes available, is appropriate.
Attorney Benavides.
One moment, Commissioner. Excepto implica un problema per tener que llamar a la línea o soplar en el futuro. Thank you, Commissioner. No objection under the circumstances.
I will then give Mr. Garcia a signature bond. I will order that you are not to possess or consume any alcohol during the pendency of this action. I will order that you are not to drive without a valid driver's license. Given the age of this case, I'm not gonna put him on the wait list for pretrial services. There's been no new violations or allegations. And he's been unlocatable since July or August of 24. Time limits as to the preliminary hearing, Attorney Benavides.
Given the signature bond that Mr. Garcia waives the time limits.
Those are waived. A status conference shall be scheduled. We are adjourned.
Puede ir con ese señor. Gracias. There's two, I believe.
Michael Fernandez.
This guy.
Fernandez?
Court will call 26 CM.
You need an interpreter?
Sí.
Okay, entonces parece aquí en la X y se abre la sesión.
Court will call 26 CM 136,
136.
State of Wisconsin versus Michael Fernandez.
Michael Fernandez.
Appearances.
Las comparecencias.
The state appears by Assistant District Attorney Thomas Valerio.
Thomas Valerio.
Commissioner, Mr. Fernandez, Maldonado, in person,
Maldonado. Se presenta en persona,
in custody,
bajo custodia.
by Attorney
Con el
Ronald
abogado
Benavides,
Benavides.
and Mr. Jim Larson, President as interpreter. He's received a copy of the criminal complaint, waives reading, stands mute on any misdemeanor charge. The address that the public defender's office has is 1831 Jackson Street, Stoughton, Wisconsin, 53589. He is not eligible for public defender representation.
Do we have the Spanish forms? Sir, this tells you about your right to an attorney. It sounds like the public defender's office said you were over income. This tells you how you can apply again or appeal that, or you can also hire your own attorney to represent you. I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do make a probable cause finding. I will enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Fernandez's behalf. State's position on bail.
I have no objection to a signature bond in this case. I would ask that the defendant have no contact with Bielka M.E. Their first name is spelled Bielka. I would also ask that the defendant have no contact with any member of Bielka M.E.'s family, and that the defendant be banned from the 2200 block of Allied Drive, Madison, Wisconsin, 53711.
Any objection, counsel?
No es importante tener contacto con esa persona, no importa que no puede tener contacto. Okay, no objection, Your Honor, thank you.
Then I will order as conditions of a signature bond that you would not possess or consume any alcohol. That, I'm sorry, cancel that. That you have no contact with Bielka M.E. or her family. You are banned from the 2200 block of Allied Drive. I will note that is consistent with the PSA report's recommendation. We are adjourned with Mr. Fernandez.
Next up would be Orlando Martinez Bastida for forfeiture.
This family needs an interpreter, I have to ask. Map 3.
Yes, Bastida.
You need an interpreter? You don't, okay.
Thank you. Have a good day, Jim.
Bye, Jim.
Court will call 26FO97 Dane County versus Orlando Martinez Bastida appearances.
County appears by Assistant District Attorney Thomas Valerio. The defendant Orlando Martinez Bastida appears in person in custody without counsel.
Mr. Martinez, I have what some consider good news. The police department referred up criminal charges against you. The DA's office reviewed those reports and decided not to charge you criminally. Instead, they're charging you with an ordinance violation. In this case, it's a county resisting or obstructing an officer. If this is the only thing holding you in jail today, you're gonna get out no matter what you plead. Sometimes it's a case that can resolve to what is the county's offer for resolution of this municipal violation?
It would be court costs only.
If you were to plead guilty or no contest, I would find you guilty. I would assess court costs of $114.50. You'd have some time to pay it. If you want to plead not guilty to this municipal citation, you absolutely can, and the case can get set for further proceedings. How do you wish to plead to this county ordinance?
Explain that again, please.
It's a county ordinance violation, resisting or obstructing. It's similar to a parking ticket or a citation. It's non-criminal.
So if I say not guilty, would it just be a ticket or what would that be?
It already is just a ticket. If you say not guilty, it'll get set for further proceedings.
Yeah, I'm guilty, I guess.
All right, I'll find you guilty based upon your plea. I'll assess court costs only of $114.50. You'll have some time to pay that, and it takes care of this case. Good luck to you, sir.
Next up, the Sawmill Davis via Zoom.
Roll call 26CF131, State of Wisconsin versus ZAHMALL Davis, appearances.
The state appears by Assistant District Attorney Thomas Valerio. I appear in person.
Mr. Davis, appearing remotely, and by Attorney Ronald Benavides present in the courtroom. He's received a copy of the criminal complaint, waives reading. I have no other address than what is cited on the criminal complaint, and no information as to eligibility by the state public or representation by the state public defender.
Mr. Davis, is the best mailing address for you 1106 Pine Street in Sun Prairie?
Yeah, that's fine. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I have reviewed the criminal complaint. It alleges one felony charge, state's position on bail.
I'm recommending a $1,000 cash bond in this case with conditions that the defendant not use or possess any controlled substance or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription. Got it. I would also ask that the defendant have no contact with DANTRELL C. It looks like Mr. Davis was out on 3 warrants. Some were body only for pretrial service violations, one of which was issued after he failed to appear for court in October 6th of last year. He has multiple open cases and was on extended supervision when at least one of them, which was in 24 CF 857, was charged. He keeps committing new crimes after repeatedly getting bond amended to signature bonds. But in the past, he did post $2,000 cash bond in 24 CF 1863 in March of 2024. He ended up getting $1,000 on each of his pending cases. I think $1,000 here makes sense. I think it's also worth pointing out this is battery by prisoners. It's an Act 3 eligible offense. He's been previously convicted of other Act 3 eligible offenses, at least in Dane County. I see in on May 13th of 2013 and 12 CF 1136, he was previously convicted of first-degree recklessly endangering safety. He was also convicted on that same date in 12 CF 1003 of substantial battery. And he was also convicted in 2008 of aggravated battery in Dane County case 07 CF 2306. Given all that, I think the $1,000 is perfectly reasonable.
Attorney Benavides.
Well, Commissioner, on behalf of Mr. Davis, I would comment that the actual allegation in the criminal complaint, it certainly is a Class H felony, but it is a relatively standard crime that comes before this court. I'm not sure that $1,000 is necessary to achieve the bond, the factors relating to bond. I really don't know if what Mr. Davis's financial situation is, except I would note further, the bond that was posted appeared to be in 2024. I would just assert on his behalf that I'm not sure $1,000 is necessary under these circumstances. But there's no objection to the no contact request.
Mr. Davis has prior violent felony convictions. This is an Act 3 eligible offense. He had warrants out at the time of his arrest. He also had a prior failure to appear. And this is occurring while he's being booked into the jail where he is alleged to be striking another individual in that area. Given all of that, I do think protection from Mr. Davis is essential. I also believe that Mr. Davis appearing at court is necessary. Therefore, some cash bail needs to be set. I will set it in the amount of $500. I will order that he not use or possess any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription. I will order that he not have any contact with DANTRELL C. Time limits as to the preliminary hearing, counsel.
Commissioner, since I'm not sure of his financial situation, Mr. Davis does not waive the time limits.
A preliminary hearing shall be timely scheduled. We are adjourned.
Next up will be Luis Estrada. Estrada?
Court will call 26 CM 135, State of Wisconsin versus Luis Estrada, appearances.
The state appears by Assistant District Attorney Thomas Valerio.
Commissioner, Mr. Estrada in person, in custody, and by Attorney Ronald Benavides. He's received a copy of the criminal complaint, waives reading, stands mute on the misdemeanor charges. I have no address other than what is cited in the criminal complaint. Mr. Estrada is eligible for public defender representation.
Mr. Estrada, is the address listed on the front of that complaint the best mailing address for you?
Yeah.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do make a probable cause finding. I will enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. State's position on bail.
Okay. I'm recommending a $500 cash bond in this case. I'm asking that the defendant have no contact with Gustavo L.M., that the defendant be banned from the Beacon on East Washington Avenue, and that the defendant not use or possess any dangerous weapon. At least in Dane County, I'm not seeing any I'm not seeing any recent failures to appear. He was on bond when this case occurred in Sauk County. It looks like that's in 25 CM 550. It looks like it's a sole count possession of drug paraphernalia charge that he was on bond for when this offense occurred. He's also got, this is an Act 3 eligible offense, although it's just charged out as battery with use of a dangerous weapon, so it's misdemeanor level. But he's got at least a few Act 3 eligible convictions in the past. In 13 CM 168, he was found guilty of misdemeanor battery. In 18 CF 1534, he was found guilty of battery or threat to a law enforcement officer. And then in 18 CF 844, he was found guilty of strangulation and suffocation. So I think given, and it looks like he was sentenced to a prison term in 2019. So I think given all that, I think some cash is appropriate.
Attorney Benavides.
Commissioner, no objection to the exclusions going to the alleged victim or the Beacon as a location. Mr. Estrada advises he doesn't have $500 to post. He may be able to post $200. He understands that he was on bond in the drug paraphernalia case. That is a relatively minor or very minor misdemeanor charge. I would ask that you consider a cash bond if you conclude that it's necessary around the $200 level that he could afford. Thank you.
I've heard no recent missed court appearances. It looks like the Sauk County case, he's made all his appearances. It's settled. It's going to be set for a plea per the notes in CCAP. These charges are misdemeanors in nature. There is an Act 3 eligible offense. However, weighing all of that, I am going to give Mr. Estrada a signature bond And I'm going to order that you have no contact with Gustavo LM and that you are banned from the Beacon on East Washington Avenue and that you not go armed with any dangerous weapons during the pendency of this action. Good luck to you, sir.
Good luck.
Next up would be Gregory Lamb, via Zoom forfeiture.
Protocol 26 FO 103 Dane County versus Gregory Lamb appearances.
The county appears by Assistant District Attorney Thomas Valerio. I appear in person. The defendant, Mr. Gregory Lamb, appears via Zoom in custody without counsel.
Mr. Lamb, I have what some consider good news. The police department referred up criminal charges against you. The DA's office reviewed those police reports and decided not to charge you criminally. Instead, they charged you with a county ordinance. It's similar to a parking ticket. It is a municipal offense and non-criminal. Sometimes it's a case that can be resolved here today. What is the county's offer for resolution?
It's court costs only.
If you were to plead guilty or no contest, I would assess court costs only of $114.50. If you want to plead not guilty, that's absolutely your right, and this case can get set for further proceeding. No matter how you plead, if this is the only case holding you, you're going to get released today. How do you wish to plead to this citation?
Exactly good. Yeah, I'm saying, I'm willing to pay the fine, Ma'am.
We got some construction going on, so I'm going to ask you again. You can plead guilty, not guilty, or if you want to plead guilty, you can say no contest too. How do you wish to plead to this offense?
Guilty. I plead guilty.
You plead guilty. I'll find you guilty based upon that plea. I'll assess court costs of $114.50, and it takes care of this case. You'll have some time to pay that. Good luck to you, sir.
Yes, ma'am. So what we talking, still?
You got court costs $114.50 to pay. Yes. Is Andrea Smith a must go? We can't Zoom her. I noticed we never Zoom females.
Sure. Put it on her. All right.
We could try, if it has to, at least we'll try it. She's a must go. Yeah. So she was been wanting.
Next up will be Danielle Fulton.
Court will call 26 CF 129 State of Wisconsin versus Danielle Foltman appearances.
The state appears by Assistant District Attorney Thomas Valerio.
Commissioner, Ms. Foltman in person, in custody by Attorney Ronald Benavides. She's received a copy of the criminal complaint, waives reading, stands mute on the misdemeanor charge. The address on the criminal complaint is correct, and she is eligible for public defender representation.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do make a probable cause finding. I will enter a not guilty plea on Ms. Foltman's behalf. State's position on bail.
I have no objection to a signature bond. I would ask that the defendant be banned from the 1300 block of Huxley Street in Madison and that she not use or possess any dangerous weapons.
No objection. Thank you.
I will give Ms. Foltman a signature bond. I will order that you have you're banned from the 1300 block of Huxley Street in Madison. And that you not go armed with any dangerous weapons. Do you have a better mailing address so that you get mail?
No, but can I please make sure I get out before the Madison Project Room closes?
I got nothing to do with that, so you're gonna get processed accordingly. You're getting a signature bond. It's up to the process.
Great weekend, guys.
Good luck to you.
Next
Oh,
up,
time limits.
Oh, yes. Given the signature bond, she waives the time limits.
A
Thank you.
status conference will be scheduled. Good luck, Ms. Foltman.
Thank you.
next up, Daniel Sawyer.
That's to say this is
Sawyer.
Court will call 26 CM 138, State of Wisconsin versus Danielle Sawyer, appearances.
The state appears by Assistant District Attorney Thomas Valerio.
Mr. Sawyer in person, in custody, and by attorney Ronald Benavides. He's received a copy of the criminal complaint, waives reading, stands mute on any misdemeanor charge. Commissioner, the address that the public defender has is 4053 Bannon Road, Bannon, Marshall, Wisconsin 53559. He is eligible for public defender representation.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do make a probable cause finding as to all the misdemeanor charges and enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Sawyer's behalf. State's position on bail.
I have no objection to a signature bond. I would ask that the defendant be banned from the 3700 block of Karstens Avenue.
Yes. Sir. Okay, no objection.
I will then order a signature bond for Mr. Sawyer. I will order that you are banned from the 3700 block of Karstens Avenue in Madison. We are adjourned.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Have a good day, sir.
Next up is Vincent White for a bail bond hearing. White?
Court will call 25 CM 1939, State of Wisconsin versus Vincent White, appearances.
The state appears by Assistant District Attorney Thomas Valerio.
Commissioner, Mr. White in person and by attorney Ronald Benavides. I would just like to verify. Yes, nothing further. Thank you.
We're here on return of warrant. Looks like Mr. White failed to appear January 8th, state's position on bail.
This actually looks like Mr. White's first failure to appear in the last, I want to say, 13 years. So I don't have an objection to reinstating his signature bond today.
Assuming no objection,
No objection.
I will give Mr. White a signature bond and reinstate all non-monetary conditions. Mr. White, if you miss court again, they're gonna set cash bail, so make sure you make your court appearances. Okay, make sure you make the rest of them, all right?
Sure.
Good luck to you, sir.
This way, sir. Next is J.C. Williamson. Williamson? Okay, let me know. What's interesting?
Court will call 26 CM 141, State of Wisconsin versus J.C. Williamson, appearances.
The state appears by Assistant District Attorney Thomas Valerio.
Commissioner, Mr. Williamson in person and by attorney Ronald Benavides. He's received a copy of the criminal complaint, waives reading, stands mute on the misdemeanor charges. I have no information on his address other than the one cited in the criminal complaint. And it's unclear to me whether he's eligible for a public defender representation.
Sir, you're gonna get a copy of a piece of paper which tells you about applying for an attorney through the public defender's office. And if you are declined by them, you can appeal that decision and you can get an attorney at sort of a reduced rate through the county. So make sure that you apply for a public defender again.
I was told I already have a public defender.
And it might be on a different case. Do you have another case pending? If this is the only case, but you want to make sure you apply because he's telling me they don't know at this point. So double check, all right?
Yes.
Make sure you have an attorney for going forward. I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do make a probable cause finding. I will enter not guilty plea on your behalf to these charges. State's position on bail.
I'm recommending a $1,000 cash bond in this case. I'm asking that the defendant have no contact with Brianna C. Her first name is spelled Brianna. I would also ask that the court make findings under 940.47 and admonish Mr. Williamson. In this case, Mr. Williamson was charged on December 30th, 2025, and released on a signature bond in 2 domestic cases also involving Brianna C. In the first case, he's charged with domestic disorderly conduct and resisting, and after being arrested in that case, he violated the 72-hour no contact by contacting Brianna C. and was charged with 2 counts of 72-hour no contact violations in the second case. Here, in this case, he's charged with violating the no contact condition of bail in those 2 cases, as well as unlawfully using a computerized communication system and misdemeanor intimidation of a victim for threatening to kill Brianna C. And then also begging her not to report him to police for violating the no contact condition. Mr. Williamson is, within a very limited period of time, showing this court that he is not going to abide by conditions of bond. Based off that factual representation, I think that active dissuasion is occurring in this case. And I think that Mr. Williamson is showing that he's a bond risk. So I think a substantial amount of cash is necessary, and I think the no contact and the admonishments are absolutely necessary.
Attorney Benavides.
Commissioner, I note that the public safety assessment recommends a signature bond. The risk factors, I think it's fair to say, are moderate, as laid out on that report. The non-monetary conditions Mr. Williamson accepts under the circumstances. He's locked up. I think he gets it. If he violates the rule, this is the situation. I would ask that you consider a signature bond with the admonition, no contact. Thank you.
Given the pending cases, this repeat victim, the Act 3 eligible assessment, I do believe cash bail is necessary to protect the public, specifically the victim in this case, from Mr. Williamson. I will set cash bail in the amount of $400. I will order that you have no contact with Brianna C. No calling, writing, texting, messaging. Can't do it. No contact whatsoever during the pendency of this action. I will also order that under 940.47 that knowing and malicious prevention or dissuasion of a witness is likely or victim is likely to occur. Therefore, the no contact is under this specific order. That means that even if you don't post cash bail, you can't call her from the jail, or they can charge you with more charges. No contact.
So it's $400.
$400. Time, nope, all misdemeanor charges. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Next is Andrea Smith appearing via Zoom.
I believe it. Oh, there's only one criminal complaint, so.
Are you talking about for Ms. Smith?
He's getting
Were you
dressed.
talking about for Ms. Smith or for, oh, okay.
He's getting dressed, so it's good.
Should we do a different person or wait?
No,
Okay,
that's correct.
all right. Court will call 26 CM 139, State of Wisconsin versus Andrea Smith. Appearances.
The state appears by Assistant District Attorney Thomas Valerio. I appear in person.
Commissioner, Ms. Smith appears remotely and by Attorney Ronald Benavides present in the courtroom. She's received a copy of the criminal complaint, waives reading, stands mute on the misdemeanor charges. I have no information regarding any address for her or eligibility for public defender representation.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do make a probable cause finding and enter a not guilty plea on Ms. Smith's behalf. I believe she has previous counsel in her other cases of Attorney Gonzalez. So Ms. Smith, you need to make sure you apply again for the public defender's appointment in this case, specifically in regards to representation, state's position on bail.
Okay. I'm recommending a $500 cash bond in this case. I'm asking that the defendant be banned from the 3900 block of Lean Road as a condition. Ms. Smith appears to have substantial failure to appear history. In Dane County alone, she has bench warrants issued in December of last year, November of 2023, and then she has bench warrant issued on November 21st, 2021, March 22nd, 2021, December 16th, 2020, and February 21st, 2020. And then furthermore, in Columbia County, she has bench warrants issued on November 2nd, 2021, and May 12th, 2021, and July 20th, 2020. I think obviously the most relevant ones are the 2025 and 2023 bench warrants. They show that she has a flight risk history. So I think that some cash is appropriate. I also think when we look at the facts of the case, she's obstructing law enforcement. She's repeatedly resisting, kicking at them, spitting at them, threatening law enforcement. So that doesn't help her in my view from a bond perspective either. I reckon you should know, Commissioner, she's got a mental health. She probably has a mental health history going on here, and I'm sure that's probably playing a role in it. I'm stressing that even though she has that failure to appear history, this is still misdemeanor conduct, and I'm recommending a modest cash. Oh, and I apologize, one more thing. I would ask that also as a condition that the defendant be banned from the Point on Washington Apartments as a condition of bond.
Attorney Benavides.
Commissioner, I would ask the court to consider a signature bond. The two counts that underlie the misdemeanor bail jumping charges are the disorderly conduct and the resisting. The disorderly conduct, again, looks like bad behavior in a hallway at a location, yelling and so on. The resisting, Ms. Williams, Ms. Smith understands that the nature of the charge. She's threatening to spit on officers. She's becoming or turning herself into a dead weight and so on. It's clear that there is an incident that's being alleged. But I agree, there seems to be a mental health issue or mental health factor that is involved in this situation. There's no objection to any form of no contact, any other restriction ordered by the court, but I would ask that you consider a signature bond.
I did go back and look at the last case to find that Attorney Gonzalez represents her in 26 CM 89. There's also a PSA report at that time prior to this offense. That was an arrest date of January 8th of this year. She had 6 out of 6 on new criminal activity, 5 out of 6 on failure to appear, ultimately recommended cash bail. She was given a signature bond, and on January 12th, we're here on January 16th with these newest offenses alleged. Given all that, I do believe some cash bail is necessary. I will set it in the amount of $300. I will order a band from the 3900 block of Lean Road and a band from the Point on, is it on East Washington Avenue?
I think just the title is The Point on Washington Apartments.
A band from the Point on Washington Apartments. We are adjourned in Ms. Smith's case.
Next is Dolomengi. Dolomengi. Illinois.
Court will call 26 CM 132, State of Wisconsin versus Alex Dolomengi. Appearances.
The state appears by Assistant District Attorney Thomas Valerio.
Mr. Dolomengi in person, in custody, and by Attorney Ronald Benavides. He's received a copy of the criminal complaint, waives reading, stands mute on the misdemeanor charges. The address on the criminal complaint appears to be correct. He is eligible for public defender representation.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do make a probable cause finding. I'll enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Dolomengi's behalf. State's position on bail.
I have no objection to a signature bond in this case. I would ask that the defendant be banned from the 1100 block of Chicory Way in Sun Prairie, and that the defendant have no contact with Jeannie G. or Geraldine L. Jeannie's first name is spelled Geannnie, and Geralyn's first name is spelled Jerelyn, as in Nancy. Jeannie G, and then Geralyn L.
No objection.
I will then give Mr. Dolomengi a signature bond. I will order that you are banned from the 1100 block of Hickory Way and that you are to have no contact with Jeannie G or Geraldine L during the pendency of this case. While this case is going on, you cannot be at the 1100 block of Hickory Way and you must have no contact with Jeannie G or Geraldine L.
My clothes is there.
What you can do is you can contact the police department, and if they find that through their lethality assessment, it is appropriate for you to go with them to get some of your things, they will assist you in doing that.
You can do
But
that.
you cannot go there without the police with you.
Like, can they take me to eighth?
They're not gonna drive you anywhere. They'll meet you there if they agree, but you gotta make sure that they're gonna meet you there, okay?
Good luck.
Do you have an address that you'll be at all for your mail? Okay, if you get an address, you need to make sure you update it with the court so that you get the mail and your notices. Good luck to you, Mr. Dolomengi. We are adjourned.
Next up would be Henry Brown, MILITARU.
Court will call 26 CF 65, State of Wisconsin versus Henry Brown. Appearances.
The state appears by Assistant District Attorney Thomas Valerio. I appear in person.
Commissioner, Mr. Brown appearing remotely and by Attorney Ronald Benavides present in the courtroom. He has received a copy of the criminal complaint, waives reading, stands mute as to any misdemeanor charge. It appears that he's eligible for public defender representation. There is a reference to a mailing address at care of the Beacon, 615 East Washington Avenue in Madison.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint as to the misdemeanor charges. I do make a probable cause finding and enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Brown's behalf. State's position on bail.
Apologize, I just need a moment. All right, I'm recommending a $500 cash bond in this case. For conditions, I'm asking that the defendant have no contact with Gregory L, that the defendant not use or possess any controlled substance or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription. I see that this is an instance where Mr. Brown was on bond and allegedly commits the offenses here in this case. It's alleged that Mr. Brown punches the alleged victim in the face, that they make their way to a Citgo gas station on East Washington Avenue, cause a disturbance in the parking lot, and that the victim has a visible cut and is bleeding from his lip, and that the defendant's hands are bloody. This happens when the alleged victim is 64 years old. As I mentioned, Mr. Brown was on bond when this alleged offense occurred. This is also an Act 3 eligible offense, so it's relevant to describe any other instances where he has Act 3 eligible convictions. I see that the defendant's been previously convicted of throwing or discharging bodily fluids at a public safety worker or prosecutor on May 28th of 2021 in looks like Milwaukee County case number 20 CF 1636. It looks like he was also on that same day in the same case convicted of battery or threat to an officer, I believe in the exact same course of conduct. He was also convicted of armed robbery on December 20th of 2000 in Milwaukee County case 2000 CF 3646. And then I believe here in Dane County, excuse me. I apologize. In Jefferson County, he was convicted of battery or threat to a law enforcement officer in November of last year. He was actually sentenced to 2 years of probation in that case, so he was on paper when this offense occurred. That's before you today. I also noted there was at least one failure to, or one bench warrant issued against Mr. Brown on November 7th of 2025. There weren't any other bench warrants that I could see. However, given all that, the fact that he was on bond and actually on paper, he has some Act 3 eligible convictions in the past. And, I think that this offense involves a vulnerable alleged victim who needs protection from this conduct. I think some cash is appropriate.
Attorney Benavides.
Commissioner, given his eligibility for public defender representation, I would ask that you consider an amount, if you conclude cash is necessary, lower than what has been requested. It looks like an opportunistic type incident in terms of what led to the battery. Apparently GLL had taken some cash out of his wallet, and apparently his intention was to give Mr. Brown the $1 bills. So I'm not sure how far the, let's say, characteristics such as predatory or something can go. It looks like a at the moment kind of incident. And I would ask that you consider a lower amount, just given his eligibility for representation. Otherwise, no objection to the non-monetary conditions.
In Mr. Brown's underlying case, 25 CM 2759, there's PSA gives him 5 out of 6 on new criminal activity, 3 out of 6 on failure to appear, and that's dated November 18th. On that one, it recommends modest cash bail. He was given the opportunity of a signature bond in that case, and that occurred November 18th, which is the underlying bail jumpings for this case. And it looks like Mr. Brown was begging, and the individual victim was going to give him money, and he wanted more, which I do see as an crime of opportunity, but also a victimization of an elderly individual. As these allegations state, at this point, they are just allegations, but they are Act 3 eligible. Given all of that, I do believe some cash bail is necessary to assure Mr. Brown's appearance at future court. I will set cash bail in the amount of $500. I will order no contacts with Gregory L. Not use or possess any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription. I will also order a ban from the Capitol Square ban area map. We are adjourned in time limits to Mr. Brown.
Yes, I'm just not sure of his ability to access cash, Your Honor. So under those circumstances, he does not waive the time limits.
A preliminary hearing shall be timely scheduled. We are adjourned.
Next up is Jamie Webster. Webster? Oh, Sawyer. Sawyer? Yeah. All right.
Court will call 25 CM 1945, State of Wisconsin versus Jamie Webster.
The state appears by Assistant District Attorney Thomas Valerio.
Commissioner, Mr. Webster in person, in custody by Attorney Ronald Benavides. He has received a copy of the criminal complaint, waives reading. He stands mute on the misdemeanor charge. He is eligible for public defender representation, and the address on the criminal complaint appears to be correct.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do make a probable cause finding. I will enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Webster's behalf. State's position on bail.
I have no objection to a signature bond. I would ask that the defendant have no contact with Tiffany K. and no contact with Letitia H. Letitia's first name is spelled Leticia. I would also ask that the defendant be banned from the 6,000 block of Williamsburg Way in the village of DeForest.
Under the circumstances, no objection.
I will then give you a signature bond, Mr. Webster. I will order during the pendency of this action. You have no contact with Tiffany K. or Letitia H. You can't call, write, text, message, nothing whatsoever. And you are banned from the 6,000 block of Williamsburg Way. Good luck to you, Mr. Webster.
Next is Antoine Conley.
Next.
Conley.
That's all.
Court will call 26 CM 134, State of Wisconsin versus Antoine Conley. Appearances.
The state appears by Assistant District Attorney Thomas Valerio.
Mr. Conley in person, in custody, and by attorney Ronald Benavides. He's received a copy of the criminal complaint, waives reading, stands mute on any misdemeanor charge. He is eligible for public defender representation. And Commissioner, I have no information regarding an address other than the one on the criminal complaint.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do make a probable cause finding. I'll enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Conley's behalf. State's position on bail.
Commissioner, this might be a case where a victim wants to speak. Can we give them the opportunity just in case?
If you are here on the Conley matter, please unmute yourself. Please state and spell your name.
JASHYALUST, Jashia Lust.
And this is your opportunity to tell the court what you think I should do in regards to setting bail here today.
I believe that he should be granted bail and granted release.
You said granted bail and granted release?
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Conley. The court will take that under consideration. Oh, thank you, I'm sorry, Ms. Lush. State's position on bail.
Right, I'm recommending a $350 cash bond in this case. I'm asking that the defendant have no contact with Joshua L. Their first name is spelled JASHYA, and that the defendant be banned from all of Fallview Court in Madison. This is a case where it's alleged Mr. Conley, where the victim in this case enforced a 72-hour no contact provision, and indicated that Mr. Conley had already moved out, but that he still had a key. From the reports, it's indicated that the victim had to tie her door shut while Mr. Conley was trying to break in during this incident. I'll note that Mr. Conley was on felony probation when this case occurred. It looks like from my liaison's notes from a few days ago, he was on a DOC hold that started on January 6th. And then furthermore, there were some failures to appear for a single, there was not a failure to appear, but I believe a pretrial service violation in 2023, on August 15th, 2023. And then I'll also note for what it's worth that it's alleged that Mr. Conley in this case fled from police to avoid apprehension in this case. So I think given all that, some cash is appropriate.
Attorney Benavides.
Commissioner, I don't see some charges included in this particular criminal complaint along the lines of felony bail jumping or resisting. I understand the reference, but I would assert on Mr. Conley's behalf that we are looking at what is alleged in this particular matter. It looks as if there's a domestic relationship. I think the court and all court officers understand that sometimes in a domestic relationship, there are dynamic emotions, expressing one's feelings, perhaps beyond the what would be customary, let's say in a general public setting. Commissioner, I believe it's sufficient that a signature bond would be ordered with specific instructions, no contact with the alleged victim, and avoidance of her residence and the location cited. Thank you.
I just want to make sure I'm not running afoul of 950 here. I know back in a few days ago when we made contact with Jasha, she indicated her thoughts on whether she wanted contact with Mr. Conley. Are you okay if we just give her a brief moment to weigh in on that? I just want to make sure her wishes are heard for the court's consideration.
Jasha, do you wish to have contact with Mr. Conley or not?
Yes, I wish to remain in contact with him because, you know, I'm pregnant currently. He's my baby father, so I would like to remain in contact.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
My position remains the same for the reasons I outlined, but thank you for giving her the time.
Mr. Conley has an extensive criminal history. He's got a prior 23 CF 2132 that has a PSA report that ultimately he ends up in prison on 2 of those cases, it looks like, for en bloc. He did 3 years of initial confinement in 23 CF 2238 or 2248. And that was sentenced November of 23. So he is recently released and alleged to have continued violations. These charges are misdemeanor. However, they are domestic and I'm going to give Mr. Conley a signature bond. I'm going to order that you direct no acts or threats of violence towards Jeshia L. Make sure you make all your court appearances. We are adjourned.
Got it.
Next is Alexandru Militaru.
Protocol 26 CF 55, State of Wisconsin versus Alexandru Militaru. Appearances.
The state appears by Assistant District Attorney Thomas Valerio.
Mr. Militaru in person, in custody, and by Attorney Benavides. He's received a copy of the criminal complaint, waives reading, stands mute on any misdemeanor charge. The address on the criminal complaint appears to be correct. He is not eligible for public defender representation.
You're being given a copy of the application information for a public defender's office. You can apply again, or you can appeal that decision, or you can hire your own attorney, but it's a criminal matter and it's a felony matter, so you want to make sure your interests are represented.
Yes, ma'am.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do make a probable cause finding as to the misdemeanors and enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. State's position on bail.
I'm recommending a $500 cash bond in this case. I'm asking that the defendant have no contact with Julia B, as in boy, except via third party for purposes of child exchange. I would also ask that the defendant be banned, excuse me. Sorry, I'm just trying to look up the address for residence ban. Just give me 1 second. I would ask that the defendant be banned from the 6100 block of Strathmore Lane in the city of Madison, and that the defendant not use or possess any controlled substance or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription. This scenario involves Mr. Militaru allegedly getting into some type of argument with the victim. The victim describes being grabbed by the neck, consistent with the strangulation case. And Mr. Militaru is on probation for cases involving her. Specifically, Mr. Militaru was convicted of criminal damage to property and disorderly conduct, both as acts of domestic abuse. He was convicted in September of last year of that, placed on 1 year probation, and he's on probation when this offense occurs. He also, for what it's worth, has a failure to appear, bench warrant, issued on November 22nd of 2024. What's notable is that he was not served with that bench warrant until several months later. He was in warrant status until March 26th of 2025. Given the length of that failure to appear, and also the fact that he's on paper for victimizing the exact same individual that's associated with him in this case now, I think that some cash is appropriate.
Attorney Benavides.
Commissioner, I have a question. This is alleged to have occurred, the matter inside this criminal complaint on January 4th. Does the court have information going to a hold by the Department of Corrections. Is that information that would be accessible to the court?
I don't have that information.
I can say from my notes through my DOC liaison, the DOC looks like placed a hold on January 4th. And that was a notation that I got from January 7th. I don't have any further information.
Thank you. Given the hold, and what he's advised me that he doesn't have $500 to post, possibly 1/2 of that amount. It seems that the hold would make the whole question moot, but I would ask it under those circumstances, you consider a $250 cash bond, no objection to the non-monetary conditions, no contact with the alleged victim, the locational ban, and so on. Thank you.
I did look up the previous case of Mr. Militaro. It actually was his first criminal case, and he had a 1 out of 1 on all criminal activity and failure to appear. Ultimately went to deferred prosecution. The failure to appear is when he was dropped from deferred prosecution and got set for plea and sentencing. So not sure if he was given notice or not, or how that failure to appear happened, if he moved and didn't update his address. However, given all of that, I give him credit on that's his only prior case. The problem the court is having is that it's the same victim in this case. He did ultimately get convicted of 2 charges out of that prior case and failed to appear for sentencing. Given all that, I do believe some cash bail is necessary. I will set it in the amount of $200. I will order no contact with Julia B. You can have third-party contact only for child exchange purposes. Time limits as to the preliminary hearing, counsel.
I believe Mr. Militaro will be able to post the cash, and we'll still have to deal with the hold. But given that, he would waive time limits.
Those are waived. A status conference shall be scheduled. Make sure you don't call, right? The only contact you have is for third party or child exchange.
And then Commissioner, the address ban and the no drugs.
Oh, and that you not possess or consume any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia,
I'll come here every Saturday if you need me to.
and that you are banned from the 2100 block of Frisch Road, 6100 block of Frisch Road,
No, that's where I live. Strathmore.
Strathmore. It's that. All right, and you're banned from the 6100 block of Strathmore.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
We are adjourned.
Next up is Robert Pladwell.
Court will call 26 CT 48, State of Wisconsin versus Robert Pleadwell. Appearances.
The state appears by Assistant District Attorney Thomas Valerio.
How do you pronounce your last name? Pleadwell. Thank you. Commissioner, Mr. Pleadwell, in person, in custody by attorney Ronald Benavides. He's received a copy of the criminal complaint, waives reading, stands mute. I have no information regarding eligibility for public defender representation, and the only address reference that I have is the one cited on the criminal complaint.
Mr. Pleadwell, you've been given a copy of the information regarding the public defender and its application and right to counsel. Make sure you pursue that for a criminal matter. The address listed on the criminal complaint gives you an address of 3313 Commercial Avenue, Apartment 3. Is that your best mailing address? What should that be updated to?
1321 South Oak Street, Freeport, Illinois. I leave for a Dodge sometime soon. I signed application papers. Go with this. Excuse me.
Do you know the zip code?
61032.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do enter a not guilty after making a probable cause finding. State's position on bail.
I have no objection to a signature bond. I would ask that the defendant not operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license and that he not operate a motor vehicle without a functioning IID installed in that vehicle.
Under the circumstances, Commissioner, no objection.
I will order a signature bond. I will order that you not operate a motor vehicle without a valid license or without an operating interlock device installed. Good luck to you, sir.
Next up is Conso for a bail bond hearing.
Counsel?
Yeah, okay.
Court will call 25 CM 2459, State of Wisconsin versus Sincere Townsell, appearances.
The state appears by Assistant District Attorney Thomas Valerio.
Commissioner, Mr. Townsell in person, in custody by attorney Ronald Benavides.
We're here on the return of a warrant.
I was just add he is eligible for public defender representation.
He got a signature bond on October 15th. He then failed to appear December 18th, and we're here on the return on warrant. State's position on bail.
This is Mr. Townsell's first ever case. It's his first ever failure to appear. So I don't have a problem with you reinstating the signature bond today with the same non-monetary conditions.
No objection.
I will reinstate the signature bond with the same non-monetary conditions. Sir, you need to make sure you make your future court dates. If you don't, they're gonna issue a warrant and you're gonna be arrested. So you gotta make your court dates, okay? Good luck to you, sir.
Next up is DANTRELL Williams.
Are you coming down? Like, all right, we're
We're
gonna
getting out if it collapses.
go
Great.
lower, the longer the day goes.
Court will call 26 CF 130, State of Wisconsin versus DANTRELL Williams, appearances.
State appears by Assistant District Attorney Thomas Valerio.
Mr. Williams in person, in custody by attorney Ronald Benavides. He has received a copy of the criminal complaint. I would like to make sure we're here on an initial appearance. I noticed one of the allegations is dated November 26th. He waives reading. He stands mute on, well, I don't see a misdemeanor charge, so he waives reading. The address on the address that the public defender has is 1819 Aberg Avenue in Madison, 53704. Mr. Williams is eligible for public defender representation.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. It does allege all felony charges. State's position on bail.
I'm recommending a $10,000 cash bond in this case. I'm asking that the defendant have no contact with LLW or any of LLW's family. I would also ask that the defendant be banned from the 4500 block of Cottage Grove Road and be banned from the 900 block of Vernon Avenue. I would also ask that the defendant not use or possess any dangerous weapons. This case involves Mr. Williams allegedly firing several rounds of a firearm into the side of the building. It's alleged that some of the bullets came through the wall about 3 to 4 feet above LLW, who was sleeping inside the building at the time. Mr. Williams is on video in the hallway moments before the shots are fired, pounding on a door, and a gun is visible in Mr. Williams' hand. An outside camera with its sound recording is able to capture sounds of those gunshots being discharged. And Mr. Williams very shortly thereafter leaves the building, then about 20 seconds of those rounds being fired. And seconds later, seen getting into his vehicle, taking off at a high rate of speed. Mr. Williams has a very concerning criminal history. And here, my understanding is that he was previously convicted in the state of Wisconsin of misdemeanor intimidation of a victim, domestic abuse assessment, and criminal damage to property in 2024. He was found guilty in 2022 in Dane County case 21 CF 2976 of possessing a firearm by a felon. And there he was sentenced to 5 years of probation, which means he was on state probation during the commission of the offense here in this case. That's not all. Mr. Williams also has convictions in the state of Illinois. My understanding is that he was previously convicted of the literal description of the charge. My understanding is aggravated use of a weapon that he was convicted of. That's contrary to 720 ILCS 5.0/24-1.6-A-1. And the offense text is possession of a weapon that's class 2 felony. And then furthermore, my understanding is he also, according to police reports, has a federal conviction for, I believe it's also connected with possessing a firearm. So while those I don't believe are Act 3 eligible offenses, they're still worth mentioning because if Mr. Williams is convicted here, he's very likely going to prison. He's on not just bond, he's on probation when the facts of this case occurs. And this is an Act 3 eligible offense. He's allegedly endangering the safety of others by, for whatever reason, firing rounds of his firearm inside of a building. And it's incredibly lucky that no one was hurt or seriously hurt or killed in this case. I think given all that, given the lengthy criminal history, the amount of exposure that's involved in this case, the fact that he's on bond, or excuse me, on supervision when this is all happening, and the fact that this is an Act 3 eligible case, I think that a substantial amount of cash is called for here.
Attorney Benavides.
Commissioner, Mr. Williams recognizes that 3 Class G felonies are alleged here, each one with a 10-year maximum. So he understands the seriousness of what is alleged. However, I would point out that given his eligibility for public defender representation, $10,000 is just simply beyond his reach. I would ask the court to consider, if you conclude that cash is necessary, a lesser amount, perhaps no more than $5,000. It appears that he is dealing with holds already. And I think that is to some extent a mitigating factor in terms of the question of cash. Thank you.
Mr. Williams is a felon, and the underlying conviction that's alleged is possessing a firearm by a convicted felon for this felon in possession. That's concerning. Additionally, the history is described by the state that he's on probation for that charge, and the charges here again involve gun. Obviously, they're allegations, however, they are Act 3 eligible offenses, and protection of the public is important in this situation. Protection of LLW is a crucial consideration for this court's setting of bail here today, and I believe high cash bail is necessary for that protection and for Mr. Williams' appearance. I will set cash bail in the amount of $10,000. I will order no contact with LLW or her family, a ban from the 4500 block of Cottage Grove Road, the 900 block of Vernon Avenue, and that you not go armed with any dangerous weapons, and that includes firearms. Time limits as to the preliminary hearing, counsel.
No, I just think it's way it's out.
Commissioner, Mr. Williams waives the time limits.
Time limits are waived. A status conference shall be scheduled. Good luck to you, Mr. Williams.
Next up, Caroline Green. Green.
Roll call 25 CF 1628, State of Wisconsin versus Caron Green. Appearances.
The state appears by Assistant District Attorney Thomas Valerio.
Mr. Green in person, in custody by Attorney Ronald Benavides. He has received a copy of the criminal complaint, waives reading, stands mute on any misdemeanor charge. The address that the public defender has, Commissioner, is 2015 Pike Drive, number 4 in Madison, 53704. He is eligible for public defender representation.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. It does allege 3 felony charges. State's position on bail.
This might be another one where a victim wants to speak, if we can give them
If
the
you are
opportunity.
here on the Caron Green matter, please unmute yourself. Please
here.
state and spell your name, ma'am.
Jayla Hogan, JAYLAHOGAN.
Ms. Hogan, this is your opportunity to tell the court what you think I should do in setting bail here today.
I'm not requesting a no contact order, bond conditions, or protection. I do not want to pursue any charges. I understand this case belongs to the state, but I wanted my position clearly stated for the record.
Thank you, ma'am. The court will take that under advisement when setting bail.
Okay. I'm recommending a $5,000 cash bond in this case. I'm asking that the defendant have no contact with Jayla H., that the defendant be banned from Jayla H.'s residence or any place that she temporarily occupies. Mr. Green was sentenced to prison on convictions for felon in possession of a firearm, attempted theft from a person/corpse, and fleeing and eluding on December 15th of 2022. He was released from prison onto ES on September 4th, 2024, after completing his initial confinement portion. And at the time of this offense, he had a fully extraditable warrant through the Department of Corrections because he was absconding. And our understanding is that he remained in absconder status at the time of the charging of this case. In the last two cases, which I believe was June 17th, 2025. Oh no. Okay. And then in his last two cases, looks like they're from around 2021, 2022. He had $2,500 cash bond and a $6,000 cash bond were set. And so Mr. Green was in custody for most of those cases. He has failures to appear on July 9th, 2021, June 24th, 2021. He has some older ones that aren't as relevant because they're too old, but what I want the court to know is that he does have older failures to appear. I recognize that that the alleged victim in this case wants contact, but this incident involves a scenario where Mr. Green is allegedly ripping chunks of hair out of the victim's head and violently yanking her head and proceeding to cut off a large portion of her hair with scissors. And he does this when he's a DV repeater, and he's been convicted 4 times of domestic abuse, battery, and disorderly conducts in the past. I don't believe those involve the same victim. It's still concerning. So I think the no contact's appropriate. I think given the fact he was in absconder status, the fact he was under supervision when this happened, the albeit dated failures to appear, I think some cash is appropriate.
Attorney Benavides.
Yes, Commissioner, Mr. Green does acknowledge that the repeater allegations convert the, what would normally be a misdemeanor level case to a felony level. He advises that he may be able to post something along the lines of $500 to $1,000. I would ask that you consider that, Commissioner. And also the person expressing herself about wanting the contact, I think it's a reference to the degree of dangerousness that she feels. And whatever that degree is, she's expressing to the court that the risk isn't sufficient for her to tell you, I don't want the contact. So given that context, I ask that you consider the amount of cash that he says he possibly could afford and to allow for the contact, perhaps with no acts or threats. Thank you.
Looking at underlying cases for Mr. Green in 22 CF 967, there's a PSA report. This alleged 2 fleeings at that time ultimately gave him 6 out of 6 on criminal activity, 6 out of 6 on failure to appear, and cash bail was set and requested by the PSA report. We now have convictions poststating that and new charges. The new charges again are domestic related, and he's got underlying domestic convictions, which causes the enhancers, which makes these felony matters. They are Act 3 eligible offenses. I do believe, and since he was released from prison, he was on absconder status on his extended supervision. Given all of that, I do believe cash bail is necessary to assure Mr. Green's appearance at future court dates. I understand that Jayla wishes to have contact and doesn't appear to fear him. However, I think protection of the public and specifically Miss Jayla is appropriate. I also will find these Act 3 eligible offenses as a basis for setting cash bail. I will set cash bail in the amount of $2,000. I will order no contact with Jayla H. during the pendency of this action. Time limits as to the preliminary hearing, Counselor.
Commissioner, Mr. Green does not waive the time limits.
And
No, sir.
I apologize. And the ban from a residence, any place you temporarily
You
occupy.
can't give me an address, it won't get ordered.
Okay.
Mr. Green does not waive the time limits. The preliminary hearing shall be scheduled timely. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Next up is Tony Vaughn.
Court will call 25 CT 683, State of Wisconsin versus Tony Long. Appearances.
State appears by Assistant District Attorney Thomas Valerio.
Mr. Long in person, in custody by Attorney Ronald Benavides. He's received a copy of the criminal complaint, waives reading, stands mute on any misdemeanor charge. He is eligible for public defender representation. And the address that the public defender has is 909 Janesville Street, number 201, Oregon, Wisconsin, 53575. Or is it pronounced Oregon? I can't remember.
Depends on if you live there, so I don't know.
Thank you.
Oregon. I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do make a probable cause finding. I'll enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Long's behalf. State's position on bail.
I have no objection to a signature bond. I would ask that the defendant not operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license or without a functioning IID installed.
Any objection, counsel?
No.
We'll order a signature bond. I will order that you not operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license or an operating and functional ignition interlock device. Good luck to you, sir.
Next up is Antoine Starr. Starr.
Court will call 26 CM 140, State of Wisconsin versus Antoine Starr. Appearances.
State appears by Assistant District Attorney Thomas Valerio.
Mr. Starr in person, in custody by Attorney Ronald Benavides. He's received a copy of the criminal complaint, waives reading, stands mute on the misdemeanor charges. He is eligible for public defender representation. And the address that the public defender has, Your Honor, is 7104 Cherrywood Court, number 7, Madison 53704. There's a bit of a discrepancy between that and the criminal complaint.
Mr. Starr, is the best address 7104 Cherrywood?
704 Cherrywood Court Park.
It is 704?
Yes, ma'am.
There's no one in there anywhere?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so we won't update, we'll keep it the same as it was. Thank you, sir. And did you say he qualifies, Attorney Benavides?
Yes, yes, he does.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do make a probable cause finding. I will enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Starr's behalf. State's position on bail.
I'm recommending a $250 cash bond in this case. For conditions, I'm asking that the defendant not use or possess any alcohol, that he be banned from any McDonald's restaurants, that he not be at the 4000 block of Milwaukee Street, and that he not use or possess any controlled substance or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription. I don't see any failures to appear for Mr. Starr. I think the reason why we're asking for some cash is because it looks like he had an IA a few days ago. Let's see, when was that? I think that was actually last week. And he was ordered to not drink alcohol, and he's here drinking alcohol. PBT's at the jail at a .050, and he has a shotgun with him. So I think that some cash is needed because he's quickly violated a specific condition of bond.
Attorney Benavides.
Commissioner, I respectfully ask that the court consider a signature bond despite the apparent violation of the prior court order. The underlying matters in this particular case are relatively standard. There's a resisting, and that leads to a misdemeanor bail jumping charge. A relatively standard incident. I'm not saying that it's good behavior or is to be condoned, but nonetheless, this court sees this kind of behavior frequently. It's not beyond the scope of you know, a relatively normal standard for misbehavior and violating a misdemeanor statute. I would ask that you consider an instruction, strict instruction about no alcohol, allow him to proceed under a signature bond. Thank you.
In the previous case, when Mr. Starr came through, there was a PSA report, and that's dated January 12th. He's 3 of 6 on criminal activity, 2 of 6 on failure to appear, ultimately recommends a signature bond. He did then get a signature bond on January 12th. We're here on January 16th. It's concerning that only a couple of days went by when Mr. Starr picked up a new case. However, the allegations, again, are misdemeanor conduct. They are not Act 3 eligible, and they are lesser severity in the spectrum of criminal conduct. It's concerning that Mr. Starr is alleged to have violated the conditions of not drinking when he's supposed to be abiding by the previous case condition. However, given that the previous PSA did recommend a signature bond and the level of criminality in this case, I do believe another signature bond is appropriate. I will order as conditions that you not use or possess any alcohol during the pendency of this action. I'm also going to order that you not go armed with any dangerous weapons. That includes firearms during the pendency of this action. Make sure you make your future court dates and don't pick up new cases, or you're not going to get another signature bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Starr.
Thanks. Next up is David Riley.
Court will call 26 CM 137, David Riley, State of Wisconsin versus David Riley, appearances.
The state appears by Assistant District Attorney Thomas Valerio.
Mr. Riley in person, in custody, and by Attorney Ronald Benavides. He's received a copy of the criminal complaint, waives reading, stands mute on the misdemeanor charges. The address, Your Honor, that the public defender has is 3917 Lean Road, number 152 in Madison, 53704. And he is eligible for public defender representation.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do make a probable cause finding. I'll enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Riley's behalf. State's position on bail.
I have no objection to a signature bond in this case. I would ask that the defendant have no contact with Joshua M. and that the defendant be banned from the 4,000 block of Nakusa Trail in Madison.
Any objection?
Sorry, what? That's not a problem with you, is it? Do you have to be in the Nakusa Trail for?
I mean, that's kind of where that's a stay shelter, so.
There are other ones.
All right, that's fine.
Under the circumstances, no objection.
I will then give Mr. Riley a signature bond. I will order you have no contact with Joshua M. and you are banned from the 4,000 block of Nakusa Trail during the pendency of this action. Good luck to you, sir.
All right, thanks.
Next up is Austin Davenport.
Court will call 26 CM 131, State of Wisconsin versus Austin Davenport, appearances.
State appears by Assistant District Attorney Thomas Valerio.
Mr. Davenport in person, in custody, by Attorney Ronald Benavides. He's received a copy of the criminal complaint, waives reading. He is eligible for public defender representation, and the address on the criminal complaint appears to be correct. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do make a probable cause finding. I'll enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Davenport's behalf. State's position on bail.
I have no objection to a signature bond. I don't have any non-monetary conditions to recommend outside the statutory ones.
Any objection?
No.
Then I will give you a signature bond, Mr. Davenport. Make sure you make all your future court appearances. Good luck to you, sir.
Yeah, I'm on a parole hold anyway, so, but I mean, I'll take the bond and then sign it later.
Good luck to you.
Yeah, you guys have a nice day.
You too.